5 food safety trends for 2023. Last week, I shared my top food fraud trends for 2023. This week, it's food safety trends. Here's what I'm seeing more of lately in the world of food safety, and these are trends that I expect to continue through 2023 and beyond. 1. Direct-to-consumer food businesses making mistakes. Direct-to-consumer food businesses sell their products exclusively online or mostly online and don't supply major retailers. It's a more profitable business model than traditional manufacturing because the business can charge consumers higher prices than they would get by selling wholesale. Entrepreneurs love it. The problem with this model is that these businesses are subject to less food safety oversight than manufacturers who supply to big retailers because they don't get audited by their customers. And bootstrapping entrepreneurs don't always have the food safety knowledge that they need or the desire to pay for experts who can help them. Last year, we saw Daily Harvest accused of poisoning hundreds of their customers after they used a questionable ingredient in one or more of their products. And you can check out issues 44, 46, 48, and 64 for our coverage of that. A TikTok influencer was also accused of food safety and labelling errors last year related to her famous pink sauce, which she sold directly to consumers using social media channels. With more consumers buying food online these days, we could expect to see more food safety issues in that channel. 2. Compliance problems with kombucha and other low and no alcohol drinks. Most companies have regulations about how much alcohol can be presented in non-alcoholic drinks. Kombucha, a fermented food, contains small amounts of alcohol as a natural product of fermentation. Other low and no alcohol versions of drinks like beer and wine can retain remnant alcohol. If the drinks contain too much, they're in breach of labelling laws and can pose a risk to vulnerable consumers. In one example, non-alcoholic drinks in Germany were found to contain more ethanol than permitted under relevant labelling laws, with 20% of 25 samples affected. Kombucha and low and no alcohol alternatives to alcoholic drinks are becoming more popular, so compliance issues are likely to increase in 2023. More listeria headaches for food manufacturers. Is listeria a food safety risk in foods that are supposed to be fully cooked by the consumer? The answer used to be no, but that is changing. Some countries are demanding recalls of frozen foods, such as frozen raw vegetables or frozen pasta dishes due to listeria contamination, even though the consumers are supposed to cook the food before eating it, which would eliminate the risk. The USA and Australia have both had such recalls in recent years. Europe had a recall for salmonella in not ready-to-eat food recently too. A newer trend is recalls due to listeria-positive environmental samples. This month, a range of sandwiches, salads and yogurts were recalled in the USA after listeria was found in the manufacturing facility, not in the products themselves, even though no illnesses had been reported. Mycotoxins. Changing weather patterns and new soil regeneration practices are bringing mycotoxin risks to regions that have not had to worry about them before. For example, a recent study reported that European wheat crops are increasingly at risk, with almost half of all crops impacted by Fusarium head blight, a fungal disease that causes the toxins. Every month, there are dozens of food safety alerts related to mycotoxin contamination in Europe and beyond, and I expect that number to increase. 5. Increasing calls to ban nitrites. We have known for years that nitrites are no good for us. However, they've traditionally been seen as the lesser of two evils when used in fermented and cured meats. The consumption of nitrites in processed meats is linked to cancer and poor health outcomes for people who eat a lot of processed meats. Nitrites are used to prevent the growth of the deadly bacterium Clostridium botulinum in foods, and until recently they've been considered a must-have food safety protection, with the risk of botulism outweighing the risks from nitrite consumption. In 2022, some prominent commentators began calling for a ban on nitrites in meat, and I think the voices will get louder in 2023, with regulatory changes a possibility in the next few years. Other food safety issues to expect this year. Lots of people freaking out about heavy metals in chocolate, me included, worldwide, and perhaps more lawsuits in the USA. More discussions, confusions, and policy updates for best before dates and use by dates in the context of food waste reduction. More foodborne illness outbreaks caused by Vibrio species. Vibrio are marine foodborne pathogens. Changing geographical incidences of algal-borne seafood toxins like Sigiratura, and different patterns for parasites like Cyclospora and Cryptosporidium due to warming waters. The US FDA continuing to draw criticism and failing to get anything done. Consumers in first world countries being more willing to use traceability tools for checking the provenance of premium food products, and I've included an example in the email. And challenges for food retailers, consumers and manufacturers related to the banning of single-use plastics and the phasing out of virgin plastics in some markets.